Okay, welcome again to the Deliberate Army. Thanks for clicking. Yeah, since this is a new channel, I'm going to start slow, kind of wade myself in. Today we're talking about the fall of the American Empire and possibly World War III. So yeah, we're gonna start things kind of gentle. Yeah, this lady has an excellent channel. She basically um, she does a lot of research into what's happening in our system. So it's actually quite helpful. She has just an unbiased approach. These are the facts. So that's anytime anybody like that, I'm interested in. So, all right, here we go.
And just announced OpenAI is adding ads to ChatGPT. But let me show you what he said just over a year ago.
You'll see us do a lot more to make the free tier much better over time. I kind of think of ads as like a last resort for us for a business model.
Ads as a last resort. Those were his words. So why is OpenAI's last resort suddenly their new business model? The answer reveals something these tech billionaires don't want to admit. People are broke, and no amount of AI hype is going to solve that. I need to show you just how many times Sam Altman has contradicted himself.
I will disclose just as like a personal bias that I hate ads. I think ads were important to give the early internet a business model, but I think they do sort of somewhat fundamentally misalign a user's incentives with the company providing the service. Ads plus AI is sort of uniquely unsettling to me.
He said he hates ads, and that ads put companies out of alignment with users. I agree, so why is he adding them?
There's something I really like about the simplicity of our model. We make great AI and you pay us for it. We commit as a company to use a lot of what basically the rich people pay to give free access to the poor people. You see us do that today with the ChatGPT free tier. You'll see us do a lot more to make the free tier much better over time.
The rich people will pay to give free access to the poors, and OpenAI will improve the free tier over time. So when exactly is the rich going to start paying for the poor people?
Okay, so a number of things right there. So what did he tell us? By saying, okay, ads are a last resort, and now he's basically raising the white flag. What does that tell us? It tells us his company is, one, either flailing, they have no idea how to make a profit or a sufficient business model, or two, the OpenAI is just another mechanism of control. It's not really there to make money, and their user base is huge. So it could be that this company is really only there to influence the masses. That's my guess, but I don't know. Any company that's very influential is going to have a lot of wealthy people trying to control it and prop it up. So I don't know, but really the larger point, or the other large point, is that what she brings out is nobody has any money, right? And Karl Marx talks about this. This is one of his main criticisms of capitalism, is that the banks extract what they can, the oil companies extract what they can, the pharmaceutical, the medical insurance companies, the pharmaceutical drug companies, they all extract what they can. Now our food companies are basically raising prices left and right. So no one has any money left, right? So what good is having all this money when no one around you has any money, right? It's again, this is another sign of society collapsing. This is a sign of the American empire collapsing.
Because instead of that, he just added ads to the free tier. That's his idea of improvement. Us poors get even more ads thrown at us.
Ads on a Google search are dependent on Google doing badly. Like if it was giving you the best answer, there'd be no reason ever to buy an ad above it. So you kind of you're like, that thing's not quite aligned with me. ChatGPT.
So think about what he's saying. Ads are, anytime you see an ad, and he's speaking truth. Anytime you see an ad, it's not for your benefit. It's not to help you. It's for them to make more money. So just be very cognizant, very aware of ads are, a huge mechanism of control. And he's saying they're not in your interest. Google is not trying to give you the best product. It's trying to give you the best product for their bottom line.
Maybe it gives you the best answer, maybe it doesn't, but you're paying it, or hopefully y'all are paying it. If ChatGPT were accepting payment to put a worse hotel above a better hotel, that's probably catastrophic for your relationship with ChatGPT.
And now he says he likes Instagram ads and has found stuff I like that I otherwise never would have. The same man who said putting ads into AI is uniquely unsettling, now he's praising the Instagram ad algorithm. All of these contradictions spell out one thing. OpenAI has reached last resort level. They're losing roughly 3 times more money than they earn. And unsurprisingly, just like with taxes, the rich aren't paying. OpenAI has 800 million weekly active users, an impressive number, but only 5% are actually paying. That's it, 5%. And that tiny fraction accounts for 70% of the company's recurring revenue. As Sam Altman said in his tweet, people don't want to pay. He's right. 760 million people don't want to pay for ChatGPT. And that's exactly why this company is in trouble. The Financial Times described OpenAI as an era-defining money furnace. The company burned through $8 billion last year. And according to the information, they're projected to burn more than $40 billion by 2028. One economist believes OpenAI will run out of money by mid-2027. Don't tell that to the AI 2027 guys. Despite Sam Altman making deals worth $1.4 trillion, the company is hemorrhaging money. He's tried everything to convert free users to paid. He locked GPT-4o behind a paywall, and he's severely limited the usage of the free tier. Nothing's working. Yet somehow he's still making deals with companies and governments as if the money problem will just solve itself. Here's what Sam Altman and these tech CEOs seem to miss.
Okay, so she actually did another video, and there's been a bunch of it's not just only her, but there's been a lot of articles and creators talk about this. But basically, the AI industry right now, it's just this closed loop Ponzi scheme, and they nobody really knows how they're going to make money in the long run, right? So I would encourage everyone to go research that on your own. But you know, Nvidia goes to OpenAI and they say, hey, we're gonna buy a bunch of services for you. In return, will you buy a bunch of our GPUs, right? So they both companies get to look, hey, look, we got all this business that's that we're booked, it's on the books, right? So they can report that to their shareholders, but there's really no, okay, what's the larger path to making money, especially when none of your consumers, none of your customers have any money
from their private jet. People cannot afford another subscription. According to LendingTree, 37% of Americans took on debt just to fund holiday shopping in 2025, averaging $1,200 in new debt. And 41% of those people are still paying off last year's holiday bills. The average credit card balance for people carrying debt is over $6,500. Roughly half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, with some reports saying that number is closer to 70%. My mom sent me a picture of this roast from a grocery store in Arkansas, one of the cheapest states to live in. $63. $63 for a roast.
So a couple of things here. Yeah, I mean, I've heard this stat for 20 years that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So from a right-wing perspective, people will say, well, you shouldn't spend money you don't have. You know, you got to take care of your own business. And you need, you know, if you're getting into debt, it's your fault. And to a large extent, I agree with that. But then, okay, from a left-wing perspective, people will say, well, you know, the system is corrupt. The system is, you know, just extracting wealth out of people. And it's impossible to be successful. And by and large, I also agree with that sentiment, right? They both are true. And you can see evidence of it all around. And we're going to talk about that today a fair amount. And you know, I think both perspectives have a lot of merit. Yes, the system is corrupt. I mean, everything I said earlier is true. Like all these companies are just trying to extract as much wealth out of you as possible. So how can you be successful when everyone around you writes the rules and is basically just trying to get one over on you? The other side is, well, no one's come to save you. Sorry, sorry, not sorry, but there's no one coming to save you. So we have to, again, we have to succeed. We have to find ways to succeed in spite of the situation that we're in. And all right, let's talk. She's going to talk about a family and their budget. So here, let me back it up 2 seconds. But yeah, $65 for a roast. You know, for my family, I try to buy quality food. Try to get rid of all the crappy food that's basically just chemicals. That's a whole nother discussion. It is not cheap. It is not cheap to eat healthy.
Dollars for a roast.
We are a family of 4, and these are our monthly expenses every month. But we have about $130,000 in credit card debt, and this is not included in that. That payment is another $2,800.
You won't believe how spacious 460 square feet can feel. This modern tiny home has tall ceilings and a design that makes every inch count.
I remember when deodorant was $4 to $5 a stick.
All right, so just one comment. You know, this is a beautiful little tiny home, but to give people an idea, when I purchased my first home 20 years ago, it was a large house, and it was probably about half the cost of this ish, right? So again, this is just an anecdote, right? So don't take what I say and you can't extrapolate it for everything, but yeah, you can. It's one data point that you can kind of put in your quiver, and but yeah, just from my little anecdote, housing prices are quadruple, right? So you get a quarter of the house for twice the money. I mean, that's like it's almost 8 times, right? Is that 8 times in 20 years? People's salaries have not gone up 8 times or double in 20 years. Okay, so ask, my advice to people is talk to older folks, talk to boomers. They didn't have to deal with this shit, right? They could go work at a shoe store, they could go work at a factory, and they could afford a nicer home than a tiny home, right? Talk to anybody working at a factory or a restaurant. Do they own a home? Probably not, right? They're a waiter, waitress. You working at a mall? Do they own a home? Probably not. But 50, 60 years ago, that was common. Like you could have a house and afford for your wife to stay at home, and you could afford for your kids to go to college, right? So these are all things that have changed, and I'm just trying to put things in a larger perspective.
Spacious 460 square feet can feel. This modern tiny home has tall ceilings and a design that makes every inch count.
I remember when deodorant was $4 to $5 a stick, and now it's like almost common and reasonable that it's $8 or more. Like I'm not even talking about the fancy, like just regular ass deodorant, $8 to $10. Is that not insane?
I mean, shit, just yesterday, I bought shoelaces. Shoelaces. I bought 3 sets of shoelaces, $15. That's like, because my dog, he likes to chew up shoelaces. So, uh, $15 is more than a lot of people make in an hour. And yeah, so affordability is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. I did want to go back to this family's budget. And so here's a bit of empowerment that I want everyone to, at least consider, take to heart. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take my financial advice. Okay, here's what I would do is I would go through each of these items, and I would take them real seriously. How, especially a family of 4 that's in this situation, like I feel for you guys. So remember, we started with talking about how ads are constantly trying to control us. Okay, well, take control of your life, right? So the best way to do that, or the huge way to do that, and I've done this many times in my life, is to just each of these items one by one. How can we improve it, right? At least it's good to have this on a list. Mortgage. Let's go by this one by one. Mortgage, because a lot of people don't think about this and they think it's useless, right? All right. So your mortgage, I don't think you can do much about that. Moving is probably too big a deal. Internet, $65. That's fair. Kids phone, $20. I don't know. Do kids really need a phone? I don't know. Water, you can't really do much. Medical bill, you can't do much. Vehicle insurance. Okay, yeah, here you can't really do much. Netflix. My advice is cut that out. Right? Do you really need Netflix? Sewer, you can't do much. Car loan. There, I would strongly consider, can you downgrade in a car? Even if it's a short term, how can you get rid of that car loan? Because my philosophy is any money you spend on a car, it's money that's lost. It's gone. So, if this was me, I would look at, can I drive around a beater and get rid of that $400 for a few months, or even just for a few months. And then once you get out of debt, yeah, go treat yourself to a nice car. All right, let's look at the other stuff. Student loan. I don't think we can really, there's not really much we can do there. Phone, probably can't do anything. City fees, trash. Okay, yeah, you can't do anything. Medical, nope. Power, you can't really do much. Dog groomer. Okay, do you really need a dog groomer? $50 a month. I would consider that. Oil changes. Yeah, you got to have an oil change. Life insurance. I agree. You got to keep that. Hubby's life insurance. Yeah, you need that. Personal property tax. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Haircuts. $25. Hey man, for $25 you can get some clippers, buzz your hair. That's what I do when I'm short on money. But whatever. Eating out. I would cut that out. And yeah, especially if you're drowning in debt. Gas probably can't affect that much. Groceries, here are the little things. Like I said earlier, I like to eat quality food. But hey, what can you cut out? A little bit here and there. So let's just do a quick math. I'm gonna write some notes down. What did I just save everyone? So kids phone, $20. Netflix, 19. So we're gonna see what do we do? Oh, dog groomer's $50. Let's take $100 out of the grocery budget. Just a modest $100, right? Eating out, that's got to go away. I've cut back eating out myself. Haircuts, okay, we'll leave haircuts. $320 a month, which at first doesn't seem like much, but anything you can put from the loss column into the black column to the win column is huge. And I encourage everyone to, yeah, even little things, $5 here, $1 here. We have to fight every day to maintain control of our lives and especially our finances. So, all right.